Welcome to Coffee with Joy. So excited to have you all here. I'm so excited for my guest, Tiffany. Woo! So please make sure that you like, subscribe, Coffee with Joy. Please make sure that if you would like to patronize our company, please make sure that you follow the QR codes that are up or towards the end of the show. We'll love to have you. So I'm going to bring my guest, Tiffany, in. Woo! Yes. Hey, Tiff, how are you?
How are you, Joy?
I'm good, my friend. So,
Yes.
if you all been watching this series, we've been talking about part one, part two, part three, leading up to her wedding. Now we're going to talk about the wedding as well as post wedding. So,
Yeah.
before we jump in, can you just tell people a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to jump right into the conversation.
So a little bit about me. I am, I guess, a new wife. Look at this. I'm in Houston, Texas now. So my IG is policy and fashion, where most only my time in DC, I talked so much about looking your best in the workplace, but also some career tips as well. So I'm all about fashion and career and women and leadership development. So I am excited to be here on the show today, chatting with Joy about all things wedding.
Woo, woo, woo. So now that we're here at the wedding, what was the highlight between getting up in the morning right before going to the actual ceremony? What was your highlight between that time?
I mean, if anybody's ever been in a wedding or has been married before, you'll know that it's an early morning. So I got up probably at like 4:30 just to make sure like I was up, like showered, and just to have some quiet time because that was the only time like my husband didn't spend the night in the room. He was with his brother. They were in the same hotel, but we weren't in the same room. So I got up early just to like kind of have some quiet time by myself. Which I haven't talked a lot about on my page, is that I lost my mom in December of 2022. So wedding day was like really hard for me. Like I was working really hard to like not be sad. So I wanted to give myself time in the morning to kind of like get the tears out, get the like, I miss my mom. I wish she was here with me. Just have that moment. And some quiet time before everyone came in. So folks' hair and makeup started at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. So it was a busy day, but I wasn't even really fully dressed until maybe 1 p.m. So my bridesmaids that came got their hair and makeup done. Joy was in and out taking pictures. We were eating, listening to music. So it was really, I felt like a stress-free morning because if hair and makeup is behind, your whole day is behind.
Right.
But like I was just praying that everything went well. And it did. And we were able to get me in my dress and get off to the venue on time. So I was excited about that part. Um, and I was just, happy to take pictures and see my family and friends. Everybody looked so pretty, all dressed up. And I had everyone wear all black to my wedding. So it was just really cute to see what everybody did with their outfits and the all black looks and how they, styled it in their own way. So I was excited for that. We had open bar, cocktail hour, food, drinks galore, a late night snack. I mean, everything went well for the
Wow.
most part.
Yeah.
And I was just excited to see my family and friends for an exciting occasion.
That's awesome. Now, we knew the dress was something of the highlight, right? The dress is top tier. Now that we finally have chosen the dress, did you make the right decision? Did you have any regrets knowing that all the dress the whole time once the proposal came into play? Did you have any regrets saying, okay, this the dress, or I really should have chosen that one, but the dress is here? Did you have any regrets?
No, I didn't have any regrets with my dress. A little bit about my wedding dress shopping experience, and I feel like I need to talk more about that. But as a plus size person, when you go into the store, they don't necessarily have dresses that fit you. So the idea at most shops is just like, let me just try to stuff you into this dress and kind of clip you in so you can get the illusion of how you may look. I tried on dresses in Detroit at a plus size bridal shop, but everything was very like Cinderella ball gown. And I knew I didn't want Cinderella ball gown. It was pretty. And all the dresses that I tried on there, they were pretty. I invited some friends to shop with me, but they weren't quite it. I had went to New York for my birthday a little bit after the proposal, and went to Pantora Bridal, and it was in Brooklyn, New York. The owner one making the cut on Amazon, probably like 2022 or 2021. So I knew about her shop from the show, and I was like, the next time I go to New York, I'm going to go to this. I'm going to make an appointment and go. And it was just such an amazing experience. Every dress I tried on fit. Some dresses were even too big, right? So she had to like switch me in, like, oh, you could look like this, Tiffany. It was the most like rewarding experience to be in somewhere where the dresses fit.
Yes.
Then I tried again in Houston to try on some dresses, and I'm like, oh, well, since I'm close here, I don't regret my Pantora bridal purchase. My dress was amazing. It was very heavy. Yeah. So nobody talks about the process of actually doing your alterations and getting your dress from bridal shop to your house to your wedding. But that was like really challenging for me. So I was like crying in LaGuardia Airport because my dress was so heavy. I ended up having to split it out into 2 different garment bags. One part of it I had to check, one part of it I had to keep. And it was so heavy that I was using, the chairs that they push people around and they need assistance. I put my dress across that and was like pushing it through the airport.
Wow.
And then shout out to Delta for letting me hang my dress in the captain's closet, getting back to Houston. But I got married in Detroit. So we had to get the dress from Houston to Detroit. So not only did I have to get it from New York to Houston, but then Houston to Detroit. So I literally had to give part of my dress to my husband. And that was like his carry-on. So Kendrick had to walk through the airport with this like Pantura bridal bag. And he got so much attention. Everybody was like, oh, you better not mess up that. You better be into it. He was like, I don't want to hold this anymore. But the dress was a hassle to get to locations, but it was beautiful the day of. And I literally felt like Black Barbie, Black Marilyn Monroe, which was what I was going for the whole time, like an old Hollywood glam look. So I am very grateful. I will say it was right before my wedding. There was a blogger who also did a vow renewal, and she had the same dress. But now when I look at how I looked in it, how she looked at it in it, we look totally different. So no one would even know that it was the same dress.
That's good. And we're not going to disclose that information because, hey, she already gave you enough a tidbit. I saw the dress. The dress, I mean, was like, wow. It's undescribable. And she gave you guys the surface. The dress is very, very intricate, very detailed. And it probably took like a good hour to get you in the dress because it had several people really being very mindful, very demure, because it was the back, like getting it was okay. But what took long was the fascinator. Had to put like a corset, had to make sure the strings was on there tight. And of course I was not privy to that, which I'm very excited. I was very happy because I did not want to mess that up because thank God for Felicia, because Felicia went with you.
Felicia was able to go with me, but I love my friends, but they still put my dress on wrong.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, they started at the bottom and laced I had 2 corsets, the inner and the outer corset. Mm-hmm. The bottom, they did the bottom up instead of the top down. Mm. But I kept trying to figure out why is my dress not tight. But I will say that after alterations, I was like swooped in there and I was like, I just don't think I'm gonna be able to dance like that. But because my wonderful friends and my sister, they're like, I don't know. So to preserve relationships, they zipped in my dress wrong and they'll see it. They'll see this and be like, we know they laced it up wrong. But I was able to dance. Like I was able to move around and like I was dancing at the end of the night. I didn't have to change my dress.
That's good. But also too, I thought it made it work where you all had the woman to record how to put it on, so that you guys will be able to use that as a replica to be able to match what needs to go on the dress, right? Because I
They
thought,
did. The
yeah,
people at Pintura are like amazing. So when you go get your alterations, is you another person one on one. They bring this like literally one of their seamstresses in, and they talk to you about like, okay, this is it. Do you want to record this part? You know, how tight do you really want it to be? So we had a whole recording on how to lace it up. And that was helpful for the girls, even though they still did it wrong. But I will say that was super helpful in just like understanding where to clip things. I had a 2-in-1 dress. So I had a skirt part that was detachable. After the ceremony, I took that part off. And it helped them understand like where the clips were and all of this, because it's a fully beaded dress.
right.
It was hand beaded, and the entire dress was beaded. So I wouldn't change it for the world. And my girl, and I didn't fall out with nobody trying to put me in a dress. I still love everyone that was in the room.
Yeah.
Tensions were high for a second, but it worked out.
Yeah, I thought it worked out fine. I thought it was very, very great. I thought everybody just had a positive attitude. Everyone was really great. So now that we hear, we're about to walk down the ceremony, what was going through your head as you was about to meet your husband at the end of the aisle? Yeah, when you about to walk up to, I guess, Bishop, what you call him? The
The officiant.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I mean, the main things, and I was, I've been in performing arts school my whole life. So I was just like, girl, but I was like, this is not the time to fall, Tiffany. So
Okay.
one of the things when I was trying on my dress up into her, I had another pair of shoes. And it was like, because I wanted blue shoes at first, like Sarah Jessica Parker, Sex and
Oh,
the
yeah.
City. They weren't Manolo Blahniks, but I wanted blue shoes with like the embellishment at the top. That kept getting caught on my dress. So last minute, I had to get new shoes. So my prayer was like, Tiffany, do not bust your behind down this aisle. And don't cry so much where your makeup is just running and you look like Dracula. But the ceremony went by so fast. Yeah. I just was trying not to fall and trying not to have a hysterical breakdown.
Oh, that's amazing. And I could really say, of course, I was on the higher level, like a topographic view, and just having to guess wear all black, you really stood out a whole lot. You stood out even more, when everyone's in black and you're in white, it really brought the attention to you, just looking like, wow, the sea of black. And of course, you just see Tiffany. It just really pinpoint the direction right on the white. So I thought that was a great move to have the whole guest into one color, because went to a wedding and everyone just looked like rainbow bright. People in different colors. It just looked everywhere. So, of course, you already know my tidbit on weddings, but I think that's such a smart move. Just have your guests come into one unified color. That's just me. I know some people may disagree, but why not? They're coming. People, and believe it or not, people like that, because when they're able to, as much as you're cornering them, you're helping them, so they don't feel like, okay, what do I have to wear? At least, okay, she wants us to wear olive green. At least they know what they're pinpoint on and what they have to wear. People like that, as much as, yes, you want to be a free wearer, free thinker. But when you corner them like that, it really takes the whole idea of like, how should I look? How should I go? I don't want to up the bride, at least, okay, we're in this color, straight to the point. Because when you start to get people free range,
oh, you could look like anything. I mean, you could have in car print, you could have polka dot stripes, whatever. I will say for the most part, everyone followed directions. I had a cousin that kind of pushed back, was like, oh, why are we wearing black? Like, why do I got to do this? Oh, this isn't a funeral. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, it took a while. For a second, I'm like, are you coming or not coming? Like, what's happening? So eventually she's like, I found a navy blue dress. I was like, did you find a black one? And this is not anybody that's like financially could not afford it. This is somebody who is an avid shopper. So eventually she got on the bandwagon and wore black. I thought it was easy because I felt like everybody has a black dress. Most men have a black suit. So I just was helping people not to feel cornered into, oh, I got to buy a new outfit.
Right.
just wear something in your closet that everybody has a black dress that looks cute. I feel like black is slimming. I feel like I was helping people out, but a lot of people had questions like, why I got to do this? I've never been told what to wear to a wedding, but we are told what to wear all the time. When you go to church, oh, okay, we wearing pink for breast cancer awareness, or you going to a birthday party, we need you to wear X, Y, and Z. So I'm
Yeah.
like, this is on that same path of an event that you attend, right? Like, I don't think I was making anything like out of the ordinary, but for some people it was like, um, but I'm excited about how my guests kind of showed up. Some of the boys wore hats.
Mhm.
I think my friend here is so big, he know who he is when he see this, but we got a custom hat made. So everybody looked very clean and sharp in a black, and I just think it's so elegant. It
Mhm.
automatically makes people just look so like on another level.
Yeah. Now, any bride that is planning or about to, elope or get married in the next couple of weeks, what is one advice you would give them before they actually, as they get prepared for their day? They only like probably 4 weeks out or 3 weeks. What is one advice you will give them to keep them calm, or what to structure, or if they're looking like, okay, what should be the main thing I should be doing?
I think it's a couple different things. If
Mhm.
you have a list of items that you definitely want to make sure, because a lot of times when you go, you have the wedding, you're getting dressed somewhere that may not be the venue. So you need kind of a packing list to make sure you don't leave anything. Share a list and things with your bridesmaids so you know, kind of like everyone knows what you want. So that includes even down to, you probably have a wedding planner, so, or a day of coordinator around the music that needs to be played for different people.
Mhm.
Um, but then also one of the things I wish we would have thought more about was like our picture list with the
Mhm.
photographer. Like, who do you want to take pictures with? So like when we plan photo shoots as bloggers, it's like, I want this look with this bag, with these shoes,
Right.
one outside, one me walking in the street, or one standing, whatever. Like, you kind of plan the set list of what you want. Kind of think about planning a photo set list too, so you just make sure you don't miss any pictures with your family,
Yeah.
um, or different friend groups, because I did miss some pictures just because I didn't write down everything. I thought I was going to remember it the day of, and you really don't.
Gotcha. Oh, awesome. So after these messages, we're going to continue to talk to my friend Tiffany about the wedding. So after these messages, we're going to talk about post wedding. Now she's officially married. She's been married for almost a couple of months now, a few months. So we're going to hear some more information about that. So stay tuned after these messages. Want to reach an engaged audience? Have no fear. Advertise your business on our podcast. Connect with us, the Coffee with Joy Talk Show podcast, and let's grow together. Email us, and we surely look forward to hear from you. Welcome back to Coffee with Joy. So excited to have you all here. It's been a great conversation about weddings. So if you're getting married, she's truly your girl, because, hey, she just got married. So if you have any questions, you can hit her up, of course, at Policy and Fashion. So I have my girl Tiffany back up. So Tiffany, now that you're married, you're back home. You're officially a wife. My friend's a wife, y'all. She's a wife. So, how has married life been?
So, and just full disclaimer, I want to share that like Kendrick and I actually got married in February of 2023.
Yes.
I have been, so we've been married for over a year now, even before we had like our wedding ceremony in May. So, it'll be almost 2 years this coming February. I think what's different, I don't think much is different. We were living together before we got married. I moved out to Houston in June of 22. He proposed in December of 22, and then we went to the courthouse in February 23. Then we had our wedding this past May. I just think it's the biggest thing is what we about to eat. I feel like every day it's like, what we about to eat, what you want for breakfast, lunch, dinner. I feel like that's the biggest thing. When I was on my own, I would easily go to work one day and on the way back home, like, oh, I'm going to get guacamole, my jalapeno and lime chips from Whole Foods,
Yeah.
and watermelon, and that'll be dinner. But that's not a proper dinner. So I do think that that's the hardest thing of figuring out, okay, what are we about to eat? Trying to make healthy food choices, since a lot of times you lead the charge and all of that sometimes, and like, if we eat healthy, is I have to be on board with that too, and I have to kind of be driving the ship for that. So I feel like that's the biggest thing of what we about to eat. That's the biggest drama I've had thus far, and that's hard.
It is, I can imagine because I laugh because I'm laughing because just like you talk about lime and chips, that is my dinner. Like I'm content. Like I'm okay. Even if I just have probably some noodles and a hot tea, I'm okay. And just to hear, when you're faced with kids and a husband, that's not flying. That don't fly no more. So I can. That's when I'm laughing real hard. Like Lord, whew,
As
okay.
is girl dinner. I was girl dinnering all the
Yeah.
time in
Girl
DC.
dinner. Yep. Girl dinner all
And
day.
I was like, oh well, I ate lunch late. Like, oh well, I'll eat. I got some ice cream. I'll eat some ice cream, or I'll eat a popsicle. Like I literally would just eat random stuff,
Yeah.
just because it's me. And then you'd be like, oh, I won't eat nothing. I'll start over tomorrow. I was the queen of that. Like,
Yeah.
I'll just get a breakfast sandwich on the way to work.
Yeah.
So that doesn't necessarily work when there's two people and a grown man is like, we about to eat. Like
Yeah.
chips and guac is not a sufficient meal.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not. So how do you all keep your relationship spruced up? With date nights, how do you all make time with each other just to meditate, pray, to keep the relationship going? Because now that you're married, nothing really changed. You just married now. But how do you continue to keep it spicy or healthy?
Yeah, I think we try to do our date nights, at least try to once or twice a month. And I also you have to push really hard to think beyond what you would like to do for date nights. So I'm like a cocktail girl. I want to, do all these frilly, girly places. And that's not my husband. So even with his birthday, he's like, I want to go to the gun range. I have never been to a gun range. I've never shot a gun, but like that's what he wanted to do. So it's like just understanding that like you have to honor people in their love language.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily about the places, the new cocktail bar you want to go to. Well,
Yeah.
would Kendrick really enjoy that? Probably not. So like, how do you find a place that's like, oh, it's a new sports bar opening or something where we can be outside? He loves to be outside and explore like the trails and walking around in different Houston neighborhoods. He likes that.
Mhm.
I know he likes wing, whiskey, and football. So like that's his main thing. His goal is to visit like every football stadium in the country. So we just went to Boston earlier this month because the Patriots is his team. So like you have to kind of think outside of all the things I would probably want to do and kind of mix in some of those things that he wants to do too.
Right.
And he does a good job of that. Like I'll send him stuff on Instagram. He'll send me stuff. So like I'll save things he's interested in and he'll save stuff I'm interested in and be like, hey, you sent me this. Do you want to go? Or I made a reservation for us. We're going out on Thursday night. So, and then also not waiting to the weekend to do stuff. So he's off on Monday. So we will do some like different things on Mondays that like happy hour on Monday or just do more chill, low key things that maybe you wouldn't do on the weekend. You would typically do on the weekend, but if he works on the weekend, we'll do some stuff during the week too. So it's about being flexible and knowing your partner, which is hard. You want to like go to all the places you want to go to.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's not a shopper. So it's like you can literally see him almost wasting away at Target after a while. It's like, why are we still here? So it's about knowing what things you all can do together and what things are independent projects too, right? Like I'm not going to make him go to Target with me to just walk down the aisles.
Right.
We can run in Target for like a few things and come out because that's just not his jam.
Yeah.
So just knowing each other and what works best for each person.
Oh, that's good. That is truly perfect. But we know every relationship have its ups and downs, right? We want to know that, hey, our relationship is 100% spicy. We don't have no problems. Yeah, right. So how do you all combat any issues or any outside forces that try to ruin or try to come? Because, of course, haters want to hate. People don't like to see growth. People don't like to see people in relationships, right? And not to say that this is happening to you, right? Just in general, like how do you all combat like a mother-in-law may be always in a relationship, right? Or a father-in-law may be always in a relationship. So how do you all come together and making sure that no outside issues really, if in fact, the relationship, and making sure that you guys are on common grounds? Or because again, we know all relationship have problems, everyone has problems, but what is one thing that you can share with the new bride who probably, once she's married now, but how to really stay away from friction from other people or outsiders?
I think first of all, I love my in-laws because I know they probably see this. I love y'all. I love my in-laws. So I will say that communication is key. There are going to be things that Kendrick and I will only talk about here, and there are going to be things that we may discuss with his mother, his stepmom, or his dad. But for the most part, like our critical issues, we're going to keep those in house. So I think it's really important to like not share all your business with everybody. So I think that is the biggest thing of just like you have to, because the issue you may have is with each other, right? And the more voices you bring in, it's going to be more opinions and more controversy and just even more confusion when it's like you just need to deal with it one-on-one. So may not be speaking for like 2-3 days, but eventually we're going to turn the corner and we will build up that communication and eventually talk about whatever is bothering us. I know a lot of people like, oh, I'm gonna call you. I should call your mama. I should call your daddy. Like, no, because that is not going to be helpful, right? And that's not you can't use other people to problem solve your issues. And then I also you have to reflect on yourself too. Like there are some things that you have to know that things that you say you can't take back. So you could be hurting your partner when you communicate certain things. So you want to make sure you know what are the things that are like it's a below the belt hit, so you don't go there.
Right.
And then I have learned the power of like being quiet and listening. I am a talker. So I recognize that sometimes I'm saying things I don't necessarily mean.
Right.
So just really having that time to like really sit and listen to what your partner is saying and understanding that everything may not be fixed instantly overnight, but everybody has to work on doing some change behavior in relationships as well. But communication is key, and like you don't really need the advice of everybody on everything.
That's good. That's truly good. And definitely don't take it on the outside. Strong communication, always talk. But talking doesn't mean like, hey, I got to give you paragraph conversation. So that's great news. So as we bring our show to conclusion, congratulations again, my friend,
Thank you.
on married life. Woo, 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 because I'm here for it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm here for it. But until then, I'm gonna have my guac and my chips for dinner. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Enjoy.
The girl dinner. Yes, yes, yes. That's gonna be me. But yes. So any bride anything that you would like to share with the newly bride, whether they're getting married or they've been married for a couple of months, anything that you like to share as they look upon their new future and as they enter into their new future?
No, I think for girls that are still planning their wedding, just enjoy the process. I think sometimes there are some frustrating parts about it, guest list, money, trying to figure out all of that. But it really truly is a process and give you opportunities. Just enjoy your partner during that entire time. And then afterwards, really spend time with one another, because if you're thinking about family planning down the road, you only gonna have so much time with just y'all two before you start adding other people to it. So enjoy your time together and just getting to know your partner, but also getting to know yourself. There are some things that I learned about myself that I'm like, oh, Tiffany, you need to work on that, right? That were positive characteristics when I was single, but not necessarily that positive in a partnership, right? Like there are some things I need to work on as well. So, and being okay with understanding, okay, you have some things to work on and you may need to go to therapy, or you may need to do some reflective moments or connecting with God and seeing like, why do I act like that? Right. And really thinking about maybe if there's some childhood things you still need to unpack. You could be a fully functioning adult and doing well. Yeah. But when you're partnered with somebody, a lot of things, how you manage money, how you spend money, all those things kind of come out. So you have to, your overall mindset, you may have to reflect on some things that need to be tweaked and being okay with that.
Right.
So, because we're not all perfect. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm so perfect. It's scary. Almost perfect is scary. But everybody has things to work on, and being okay with, especially I think for Black women, we're always seeking out perfection or seeking out control. Like, I want it done this way, or it has to be perfect.
Right.
But if you have a person that's willing to help you, they may not do it the way you want it done, but being okay with asking for help and not being in control of everything is key.
Mm. Good advice, Frank. Good advice. Of course, I'm not married, so of course, good advice. Good advice for me, because that's you coming from a single to a
Mhm.
dual home, and what worked for you may not work in the dual, and it will work, but it's compromise, right? And
Yeah.
it's really getting adjust and getting to know the new normal, right? So that is a great tidbit for those who want to get married or those who are in a relationship that is heading, because again, as you enter into this partnership, remember, it's no longer you, the two becomes one. So
Yeah.
you really have to understand it. So that's a great tip. Yeah. Woo! Yes, yes. Thank you so much, my friend. So keep in mind, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy. If you would like to hear any more information, of course, you see her tag, which is Policy and Fashion. For any new brides out there, for anyone that would like to get any information or truly go into depth about what it is like to be married, because again, you need a community. So please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow. If you like to patronize our company, please make sure that you follow the QR codes, and we're up for an award. Yes, an award. So after, hopefully, if we win, we'll become an award winning talk show, Coffee with Joy talk show podcast. But until then, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow us. As you all know, if it's a weekday or weekend, it is Coffee with Joy. Until then, you all live life on purpose, and see you soon.